I can't get it to record, Zach. I think I just got it. I think I just got it. The little red light is on. Wow. Okay. So, good evening and welcome to Pound Posse Presents. Zach, you can stop making fun of me now. I've had like a whole bunch of moments in this last week, particularly around Zach. I think he's rubbing off on me, where I'm just a clumsy mess. I don't understand. I know you're saying something, Zach, but I can't hear you because the door is closed. So either hold up signs or come stick your head in here. I don't know what to tell you. Oh, he's going to come stick his head in here.
Me moments. It's just who I am. It's who you're becoming.
Yeah, okay.
Terrifying.
Yeah, he's saying it's terrifying that I'm becoming him. I don't know. But everybody has those moments, right? Like you just get clumsy or, you have a streak and you're doing stupid stuff. Apparently, it heightens for me right now around Zach. I don't understand. But yeah, okay. So aside from all the problems I had setting up the equipment tonight, at least now it looks like the record button is it. Zach, maybe you want to check it just to be sure, because, I don't trust myself. It's ridiculous. What a way to start a show. It's recording, right?
Yeah, I see record.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, so we're good. Okay. Just making really sure because, I'm really having a great time. And maybe it's because I'm still not 100% with my health. I don't know. I'll try to make excuses for it, but they're probably not going to work too well because, sometimes it's just you. You got to admit it. It's your problem. It's just you. Anyway, what a way to start a show. It's all good. I mean, this is live TV. This is not recorded. So all of the things that I might do that might be a little embarrassing, they're all public and I don't edit. So, you'll get to see this on the replay because that's how we roll here. As a matter of fact, Pound Posse Presents has only recorded twice, and that was the Wolf presentation because we did that around their schedule and they were not able to come on a Saturday night. And we did it for Hudson the Railroad Puppy because he was in town to do the Bow Wow Bark in the Park event. And before they headed home, we booked the studio time and did it then because trust me, on the night after an event, nobody has the energy for that. And I know I sure didn't that year. So those are the only two times that the show was pre-recorded. I'm sure there'll be other times. I actually did try to get a guest to come on who would have been a return guest, who is not from the area, and I was hoping, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. So I can only hope that going forward maybe it'll happen. I don't know, but I'm always grateful when people come on the show. It's a good thing. I've got to get back into the swing of that because sometimes that makes it a little different, makes it more fun, other than to listen to me go on and on about whatever it is that I decide to go on and on about. All right, speaking of going on and on, I think that's what I'm doing now. So I'm just going to switch gears and actually start the show. So the other night, I was at the gas station by my house. And, I've had this tire that's been the bane of my existence since last August. And, I'm constantly having to put air in it because, why would I get it fixed? However, I got it fixed today. Yay me. So anyway, after work, I stopped real quick and I was going to put air in the tire. And a woman walked by me. And she started to walk by and then she stopped and she approached me, and it's always kind of weird when someone approaches you, so your thoughts start to fly like, uh-oh, what now? but she was amazing. She actually watches the show, and she recognized me. You know, here I am all windblown and, you know, air hose and whatever. And, you know, she's like, aren't you the lady that does the show about the dogs? And I was like, oh my God. So we had a very pleasant conversation. She said she watches all the time, and she would have to be able to recognize me, I think. Although I've been told that, you know, people don't forget me, but whatever. So yeah, she just kind of blew me away with that. And I always appreciate when someone speaks up and says they watch the show. It's totally not ego. It's just, it makes me feel that sense of accomplishment that I'm reaching people and people are watching. I always wonder, like, is anybody really watching this show? But apparently people are. So her name was BB, and I promised her I would give her a shout out. And BB, thank you for watching. I hope you're watching tonight. And, you know, for anybody who does watch the show, if you see me, please come and say something. I am actually very approachable. And, you know, I love to hear your thoughts. If you have any suggestions, you know, if you have any favorite guests, you know, let me know. It's good feedback. And like I said, you know, sometimes me in the studio, I don't know what's going on out there. I don't know who does or doesn't watch. And, you know, I think a lot of people might hesitate because they're not sure, or, you know, they're kind of shy or embarrassed. Don't be. If you see me out there in the world, in the real world, just holler. Come up to me and say something like BB did. She was very pleasant. We had such a nice conversation. You know, it's nice to know that there's good people out there that care about animals and you know, watch the show. So again, BB, it was nice to meet you, and thank you very much for, you know, taking the time to stop and talk to me and tell me that you watch the show, because it's very much appreciated. I'm always blown away, you know, by having fans, or whatever you want to call it, friends out there. Makes me feel good. Like I said, it's not like ego. It's just, it's a sense of I'm reaching people, and that's what I'm here to do. It's always been my hope that I could promote these animals and bring issues and education to whoever watches. So hopefully I'm making that mark. It's been 7 years, so we'll see how long we keep going. All right, so Easter, Zach and I were just talking about Easter, and Easter is April 21st this year. So many people are still buying ducks and bunnies for their kids for Easter, and it creates such a problem because people don't, like, the shine comes off real quick, you know. It sounds like a good idea at the time, and then all of a sudden these live animals need care, and, you know, you got to clean up after them, and you got to feed them, and, you know, they're not supposed to be just left in a cage or whatever. They actually are living, breathing creatures that have needs. And so people bail on them really quickly. And most of those animals who are purchased for the holiday don't make it to their first birthday. You know why? Because people bail on them and they dump them, and they're not meant to be outside creatures. You know, these ducks and these chicks and these bunnies are bred. They're domestic animals, and they have absolutely no clue how to live in the wild. So, you know, you dump the duck, you dump the chick, they're gonna die, they're gonna be prey. they're going to starve because they don't know how to find food. There's no mother that taught them. They're domesticated animals. The bunnies are the same situation. People get tired of caring for them and they take them for a ride and they never come back. They dump them out in the wild, and those poor bunnies, if they don't starve to death or, die from the weather, are going to be hawk food or coyote food or fox food. They have no idea how to survive in the wild. So before you consider doing that, before you let anybody do that, just don't. I'm sure some people call rescues about the rabbits anyway, and there is such an influx of these creatures in the months after Easter that they can't take them. And so what happens? But people take matters in their own hands and they just dump them, and it's not right. So how about, instead of a live creature whose life is going to be in jeopardy in your hands, get a stuffed animal, get a chocolate rabbit, do something else, but don't buy live animals. Pets are not presents. I think I say it every year, but every year I see it over and over again. These poor creatures that, somebody will find, and the lucky ones are found. The unlucky ones die alone in terror. And how fair is that? It's not. They're not throwaways. They're not, don't play God with these people, with these animals' lives, because you're irresponsible. Just don't do it. Pets are not presents. There's other things you can do. There's other things you can get your kids. They do not have to be the reason why these animals suffer and die. And shame on, the suppliers, the pet stores, the breeders, whatever. Shame on them for being so willing, for the sake of making a buck, to breed these animals and, know full well that the odds are they're not going to make it. It's just ridiculous to me. So there's my soapbox for the evening. And so now I will move on to another subject. You've heard me, maybe, because I have talked about it before, talk about Pets for Love Foundation. Now, Pets for Love Foundation has an all-hands-on-deck emergent situation. Months ago, I presented their dilemma, and unfortunately, not much has changed, except for the urgency. It's really ramped up now. The space that they've been renting was sold, and their lease was being terminated. Volunteers began the process of trying to pack up. The search for fosters and adopters was thrown into high gear, and trying to find a place to move has been unfruitful. They tried to get more time through, court intervention, and that was unsuccessful. So now they truly only have a matter of weeks to get it all done. And I can't imagine the stress that is creating. It's very hard to wrap your mind around. Pets for Love is in desperate need of permanent or temporary homes for whatever animals they still have in their care. They need the manpower to get all their belongings packed and into storage. And most of all, they need a new place to call home. So if there's anything that you can do to help, you're asked to please contact Dave or Lori by email at info@petsforlove.org, or you can call the shelter at 516-832-8200. So that's email at info@pets4love.org, and that's pets, the number 4, love.org. Or you can call the shelter at 516-832-8200. Now, Pets for Love is currently located at 1504 Old Country Road in Westbury, New York, and that's Long Island. I don't think that that's too far for someone around here maybe who might be able to do something, you know. We've got to help our neighbors. We're all in this together. Someone I really love on Facebook is very involved with this shelter. So that lets me know that this is a good place. You know, they've got some animals that are going to be harder to place. This has got to be, you know, it's bad enough when you're in a crunch to try to find safe homes for animals, and it's you add needing to find a new place. You know, they've got to pack up every piece of anything that they own in the space that they've been renting and get it out of there and get it in storage. And, you know, so they've got to worry about that, and they've got to worry about trying still to find a place. And there's just so much on their plate, and they've tried everything to try to stay there, but it's just not working. Unfortunately, the place changed hands, and, you know, the people who took over just aren't having it. So, all right, that's their prerogative, but, you know, they should maybe just be a little more lenient. There are lives at stake here. It's not like they're putting a store out where, you know, you just pack up your stuff and go. These are lives, and, you know, if you can foster, that would so take a lot of the weight off of what's going on here. You know, temporary, foster, just be a safe haven for one of these animals. If you're looking to adopt, maybe you can check out the animals that Pets for Love has and find somebody there. I mean, every animal that they can place one way or the other takes that much more of the burden off of what they're trying to accomplish. You know, they need manpower. They need people to get in there and help do what has to be done and get the stuff to storage. And there's so much that they haven't found a place yet. That's got to be just so overwhelming. So really, if there's anything anybody can do, please reach out and do it, because, you know, it's desperately, desperately needed. So that being said, hopefully they'll be able to get settled soon, and wishing them totally all the best. So I've got some adoptables, and we're going to start with Max. And see, now I love Shih Tzus, and Zach doesn't think this dog is cute, which just really breaks my heart. I love Shih Tzus, so anytime I see a little Shih Tzu face, I fall in love. And poor Max is a 3.5-year-old Shih Tzu who lost his home when one of his elderly owners died. He's not quite ready to go to a new home, but he will be soon. Right now, he is adjusting to the changes in his world, and he has to be neutered before he can move on. Max loves to go for walks, enjoys car rides, and will sit for a treat. Max will need a home where boundaries will be lovingly and patiently set for him, and one without small children. If you are interested in Max, you can visit passion4paws.org/adopt. That's passion, the number 4, paws.org/adopt. And you can fill out an application, or you can message them and ask any questions that you might have. You know, Shih Tzus are really cool dogs. My very first long-term dog, and I say that because, you know, as my mother and I decided many moons ago we would get a dog, the first one we got was very, very much too much in my mother's mind. It was an Irish setter, and unfortunately we didn't have her for long. I was too young to have much say, And so, I'll live the rest of my life being angry over that. But then we got a Shih Tzu, and I had him for 17 years. So, my love for this breed kind of will go on forever. 17 years, and when I lost him, I'd had him more than half my life. So that was a very impactful thing for me. And so, yeah, I see a little face like this guy, and, I just melt. So, yeah, if you're interested in Max, Passion for Paws, they do a lot of really quality saves. I like what they do. They're a good organization. So, yeah, we'll leave it at that. And Max is another one. And imagine how this poor guy must feel, as all these dogs who go through stuff. He lived his whole life with his people, and, one of them passed away, and for whatever reason, he's been given up. So he's kind of going through some changes. And hopefully, he'll be ready soon, and he won't be too upset making another change. That's another thing. You get these dogs who are surrendered, and they go to a rescue, or they go to a pound, or no matter where they go, whether it's a foster home, which at least a foster home is a little bit more what they're used to, but they bounce around, and you just wonder how confused they are. Some of them are very resilient, and some of them are very sensitive, but it always breaks my heart to think of the changes that the animals go through. But that's because I, empathize so much more than the people who are actually dumping the dogs. All right, next up we have Roxy. And Roxy is a dog-friendly, fun-loving 4-year-old who loves to play, is house-trained, and walks nicely on a leash. Roxy would love to be able to find her new family sooner than later. If you'd like to find out more, you can contact the Town of Hempstead Animal Shelter, and their number is 516-785-5220. That's 516-785-5220. And they also are located on Long Island, for anyone who is not familiar with how much I promote their dogs. It's a great shelter with the most amazing volunteers, and they really care about the dogs. So, you actually not only make a dog's life when you adopt from there, you totally make the volunteers' day, because they are so into these adoptions. Another Tojas dog we have is Pinto. And Pinto is one of those one-of-a-kind dogs who likes other dogs so much that he gets to be a test dog at the shelter. And before anybody gets, their little hairs up, a test dog is basically a helper dog. A dog who is so good with other dogs can be used to see how an incoming dog or another dog will do with another dog. So, I don't know, I guess you could say a test dog is, I hate to use the word guinea pig, but, he's one of those dogs that, is just so good with every other dog that, you can bring another dog to try to meet him and see how the other dog does, because for sure this dog, Pinto, is going to be amazing no matter what. And that's a really special kind of dog in any kind of situation, never mind a shelter situation where, there's so much that goes on, that a lot of dogs go into a shelter and they're dog friendly, and because of the environment and because of how they shut down, they come out and they're not as dog friendly. But it hasn't gotten to Pinto, and I hope it never does, because he just sounds like a dream. He himself is so dog savvy that he knows how to help other dogs feel comfortable. And this poor sweetheart was abandoned and has done his time at the shelter and really deserves a home where he can be loved and cherished. I mean, they all deserve that. But, Pinto's time has come, and he really should be able to go out into the world and be the ambassador for, dog friendly encounters and live the life he truly should have. So anyway, he's got a Facebook page and it's called Pinto the Great. And if you are interested, you can check out his Facebook page, or you can call the town of Hempstead Animal Shelter at 516-785-5220. That's 516-785-5220. Next up, as always, until she gets adopted, there are some great new pics of Juniper, thanks to her shelter friend Heidi. And, Juniper is still waiting for someone to discover what a gem she really is. While she's a bit shy at first, all Juniper wants is love, and she will 100% give you her all once she gets to know you. This girl had a rough start in life and has come so far at the shelter, thanks to the love and care that she gets from her volunteer buddies. It's so amazing. I'm telling you, I can't say enough good things. It's so amazing to see all the Facebook posts and the pictures and just how much the volunteers are involved with the day-to-day lives. They volunteer their time around other volunteers' times to make sure that, the dogs get out and, they're covered, and it's such a great network. And, it's not just like from the outside that I see this. These people are my friends, and it's amazing. Anyway, so she's been at the shelter for over a year, and it's really time for her to move on and experience life as a beloved companion with someone who will give her reassurance. So 516-785-5220. Juniper Needs a Forever Home on Facebook. I am out of time, so I'm going to say peace, love, and dogs. Thank you for watching, and good night.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds.
I grew up in the housing projects of Cleveland. I didn't even know that life could be any better than it was. Education for me has been a way to get away from the agony of what was normal life. I want to be able to impact the community, not just look back on where I came from, but to reach back to where I came from and pull some people up with me. My name is David, and I am your dividend.
Thank you, dear. You're very supple, just like I was at your age. Back then, I was a sex expert. Used to call me the buttered biscuit. I know about birth control, too. So you can ask me anything, baby.
Bedsider.org has birth control information and a lot more. And it's...
Have you had sex in this car yet?
Welcome to Waterbury Evangelical Church